Hello everyone. I hope you all are very well. So, in this lesson, today we will start practical. Okay, the geography practical, that is introduction to maps. But before starting this part, few interesting things I'd like to share with you. First thing is that go to your Google Chrome and simply type echalk.co.uk. echalk.co.uk. Okay, this is a link. This link is very useful for those students, those who really want to understand the planet, the planetary movement, and all the related features, that which is very important and very intrinsic part for a geography student, I believe, at least. So my suggestion is to you that please visit this website. This is very interesting. You will understand earth in different ways. You can move it in 3D dimension. You can see the access a lot of things. On the other hand, you can see a menu option was there, where different purpose of maps are coming. In the very first day, when we are discussing about the uh, content of the practical, that what we will do in the examination, there are a lot of maps we have talked about, that is topographical map. A lot of maps are there, cartograms and all. Okay, a lot of maps. Here you can easily identify a lot of things. For example, if I just click in terrain, oh, the map is in terrain mode only. If I just click it in political, suppose, so it will show, this map will show the political features. Maybe it's taking some time for loading, as the network is not well, but see the political division, you can see. And if you this link, you can also add this link with the Google Maps. So suppose I need this area, I need the information of this area, so I just pause the place and click it, hyperlinked with the Google Map. I can easily go through the access of different types of area in the map. Okay, so this is a very useful application. Please visit echalk.co.uk. It will really help you. Okay, this is a climatic map. Different types of map you can see from here. Okay, so finally we are here. We will introduce the concept of maps in today's lesson. So I hope you are very well, and slowly you are going through the Google Classroom contents. Please have a look, everyone. Okay, please have a look, because I think we have completed two chapters, two theoretical chapters of geography, and in this week we are planning to complete one practical chapter, the basics of introduction of maps, the basics. Okay, so as the chapter 1 is the introduction to maps, part 1, myself Pratik Chakraborty welcome you everyone in this beautiful session. So let's begin. Whenever we used to say about map, okay, so what is a map particularly? A map is a conventional picture of earth surface or a part of it as seen from above. Okay, maps are drawn to show physical and cultural features of an area. Usually you have seen globes. This is an example of globe that you can see. Globes are particularly three-dimensional, which represent the geoid. Geoid means what? The shape of the earth. Okay, geoid means, the word geoid come from oblate spheroid. Okay, oblate spheroid. So globe used to represent three-dimensional, but there are limitations in globe. A globe cannot represent everything. A globe only represent the basic, the prime, the most important things in the earth, but not in a full details. But a map can show a lot of things. For example, if I take a globe, all the countries, all the continents are there. It is very different to distinguish. But if I take map of India, if I take map of America, if I take map of Brazil, we can see a lot of different things, lot of cities, towns, roads, etc. in a map. So maps used to represent an area in a more detailed way. Maps used to represent area in a more detailed way. Okay, so one thing is important. just have a look, and I will suggest you to write it in your copy also. Okay, the word map. Okay, the word map has been derived from the Latin word from the Latin word okay, from the Latin word, that is from the Latin word mappa. Okay, so the word map has been derived from the Latin word mappa. Okay, so please remember these things, it is important. Okay, so that is a basic introduction, and you can say a basic differentiation, that what is map and what is globe. I hope you understood this part. Okay, next part we are moving is the maps, the basic introduction of map. A map, on the other hand, is a simplified depiction. A map, on the other hand, is a simplified depiction of whole or part of the earth on a piece of paper. In other words, it is a two-dimensional form of the three-dimensional earth. So it is a two-dimensional form of three-dimensional of the earth. Hence, a map can be drawn using a system of map projection. At the very beginning, when you're discussing the lecture, we are analyzing the syllabus. I have told you that to draw map, we need a specific projection technique, which is known as map projection. We will understand in chapter 4 of practical geography. Okay, as it is impossible to represent all features of the earth's surface in their true size and form, a map is drawn at a reduced scale. Always a map used to drawn in a reduced scale. What is a reduced scale? See, for example, your school having an area of 500-meter area, suppose. Okay, if I ask you that prepare a map of your school campus, so to make a detailed map, you will ask, sir, we need a 500-meter long paper, because you have told us to make a detailed map, but it is not possible. You can just imagine 500-meter paper, it is very difficult to to draw and to carry. It's very beyond imagination. So what are the techniques that we used to do? We used to represent the feature of the school, but in a reduced way. These things we will learn in map projection and making of map. Okay, so the art of map making is known as what I have discussed you already, that is known as cartography. Okay, so these things are there, that a map is there. A map is a two-dimensional representation of a certain region. A globe is a three-dimensional representation of a certain region. So this is the basic fundamental approach of a map. I hope you understand. Okay, next concept that we are moving is the concept of uh, some characteristics of map projections. Okay, some specific characteristics of map projection. So let's see what are the important specific characteristics of map projection. We have, first, what we have understood, map is two-dimensional. Okay, map is two-dimensional. A map is two-dimensional in nature. Okay, second is what? Definite scale, because the concept of reduced scale we have talked. Okay, we have understood the concept of we will learn the concept of reduced scale. Okay, reduced scale. What is reduced scale? We will learn later on. For example, suppose I will give an example, that is 1 centimeter in map represents 1 kilometer in ground. That is a scale. That means a line of 1 centimeter in map actually representing a road, 1 kilometer long road in ground. This is a definite scale or reduced scale. We will learn it later on. Okay, the purpose. Third is what? Conventional symbols, conventional symbols. A map having definite and typical and unique conventional symbols. For example, deep green represent forest, deep yellow agricultural land, blue water body. This kind of conventional symbols we will learn, and in map these symbols plays a very important role. Okay. Next, having proper latitude and longitudinal extent. On the very first day I have told you that a map in geography, location plays a very important role. So to specify the location of any area, we always use latitude and longitude. Okay. And next is what? Map is two dimension. That means it has a definite length and breadth. Okay. It should have a definite length and breadth. These are the 5 important characteristics of a map. So a question may come, what are the characteristics of a perfect map? These 5 important points will be there. Okay, I hope it is clear to you now. Okay, moving on to the next part. Okay, so in your NCERT book, you will see a glossary section was there. Glossary is nothing, some important terminology which we will use repeatedly in practical, which we will use repeatedly during practical work. First is a cadastral map. Okay, a cadastral map, particularly a large scale map representing a smaller area. That means block number 2 of Shiliguri, block number 3 of Shiliguri, this kind of thing. Cardinal points, that is north, south, east, west, these points are very much important. Next, cartography. The art, science and technology of map making is known as cartography. Next is the generalization map. Generalization map means what? Simplified representation of feature on the map with appropriate scale having a definite purpose. That is a generalization map. A general map is such kind of map which is available in your book, Map of India, which will available in your lab, geography laboratory. For example, a map of India, world map. This is used for a general purpose, for identification normal. Okay, that is generalization map. Next is geoid, an oblate spheroid whose shape resembles the actual shape of the earth. So on the very first day I have told you that what is the shape of the earth? It will be geoid, Geoid. Okay, after that we have understood map. Map series is nothing, a group of map produced at small scale of any country or a region in a series wise, in a serial wise. That is a map series. Okay, for example, I am making a map of Darjeeling. After that I will go to Jalpaiguri, after that Kuch Bihar, after that Uttar Dinajpur, Dakhin Dinajpur, Malda, like this way, in a serial wise. Next is projection map. Projection map particularly is a system of transformation of surface that used to see in reality in a plain piece of paper. That is projection. For example, I am visualizing South America in reality and I am projecting South America in a piece of paper. That is projection. After that, scale, and lastly sketch or symbol. These are some of the important points that we will study thoroughly in the entire year of our journey, of our practical. Okay, today I am not emphasizing in these topics. Today it's just an introductory session of practical. Okay, before going to the maps, one thing you have to be very clear that map is not recently invented or discovered technique or laws. Okay, it has been going on from the since time. Okay, from very ancient times, from very ancient times. So maps, particularly the art of map making, is cartography. So during historical times, during ancient times, people used to travel a lot, people used to travel a lot, And when they used to travel here and there, they tried to replica the sketches in different ways. So at the very beginning, what the first thing we have discovered, that is the Imago Mundi from Babylonia. That is 500 BCE, before Common Era. This tablet, okay, this tablet is the Imago Mundi. Okay, Imago Mundi is the tablet. So if I decipher, if I decode this tablet, because you can see it is breakable, it's very old, it's broke completely. So archaeologists decode this tablet, and after decoding they find this kind of description, where Babylon is in the middle here. After that, bitter river, uh, a river is surrounding the places, and the directions you can see, and the directions you can see. This is one of the oldest map of the world. This is one of the oldest map of the world. Okay, and from here we can see that yes, observation observation plays a very important role in map making. So learning observation plays a very important role. Okay, so after prehistoric times, BCE, before Common Era, when people started developing logical thinking, when travel becomes more interesting and little bit advancement taken place in the travel, people started learning a lot of things, and after that they invented this kind of map. In this map, at least few ideas are clear to you, that Europe little bit you can imagine here and there, India you can see some part, after that Saudi Arab, United Arab Emirates you can see, Africa, in this provision you can see there is Africa. Okay, this is UAE, United Arab Emirates. This part may be Europe. Okay, this part is Mediterranean Sea. Okay, this part is China, Tibet. So after few years, okay, after few years, many years you can say that when people started traveling, they started finding a lot of things, and at that time they identified that the earth is not completely round, it is spherical in shape. So spheroid, the concept of spheroid you can see, okay, sphere. So from here the concept of sphere and ocean body started. Later on, during the time of 15th century, 14th century, when advancement taken place more, okay, 15th century, 16th century, people started understanding the concept of latitude and longitude. So imaginary lines people started discovering. So you can see in this map, imaginary lines started formation. See here, okay, people identified the concept of pole and the concept of geoid, okay, the concept of oblate spheroid we can see in this map. Okay, here particularly to denote two separate hemisphere. At that time people started making northern hemisphere in a separate map and southern hemisphere in a separate map. Like this way they used to separate these two sections in like this way in this map. Okay, this map is very much popularly used during Atlantic and Pacific. Christopher Columbus is an example. Okay, Vasco da Gama is an example. Those who enriched the idea of maps, because Captain James Cook, another most important sailor. Okay, they are the important personalities who portrait the world, who make the maps in different ways. Okay, this is an example. So after the innovation of technology and advancement of a lot of things, people started connecting to each other, and slowly present day, or you can say that early 18th centuries map, it is in front of you, it becomes so artistic, so beautiful. Okay, it's a British Empire map, particularly it has been made in 17th, late 70s to early 18th 80s. This map you can see here, and in this map particularly you can see the continents are more lively here. Okay, most of the continents are more lively here. You can distinguish Africa in this map here, India, after that Australia. Okay, all the specific countries you can demarcate in this map. So evolution of map, when people started taking the approach of scientific development, scientific temperament, the concept of map making also flourished. At that time, slowly they started using that hot air balloons. From there, they used to understand, oh, okay, this continent is like that, Atlantic Ocean can be like this. So this concept started developing. Okay, and finally we have this kind of map. Okay, and finally we have this kind of map. So this is a one of the modern map you can see. Okay, it's a more modernized map. Okay, so like this way, evolution uh, in cartography taken place, and people understood that yes, map is a very important tool to understand a particular region, and to plan a region accordingly, map plays a very important role. So these are some of the important maps. And finally, in the modern era, when you are in the modern era, what kind of map we have seen? This is the modern era map, which is become more scientific in nature. In your right hand side, it is a satellite map. Okay, in time lapse you can see the map. Okay, it is in a time lapse, so a series of cloud movement. The purpose have come. At the earlier maps, you can see the purpose is not there. It is a generalized map, no specific purpose. There is no political boundary, there is no physical boundary, there is no cultural, there is no forest map is not there, climatic map is not there. Okay, but after after few years, when people started understanding that okay, we have to make maps based on purpose, so we have identified this kind of map. In your extreme left hand side, this map is known as topographical map. We will learn this map very intrinsically in class 11. This map is very interesting. Okay, if you have this map in your hand, I must say you can predict, you can analyze everything, every possible geographical incident. Okay, if you learn this map. And finally, the computerized mapping technique, which is also known as the satellite mapping. Okay, this is an example of satellite mapping. This kind of map also we will learn, weather maps and all. Okay, so that's a basic introduction of map. I hope it is more or less clear to you, as it's a basic introduction. So please, one thing I would like to suggest you that you should have this book, Oxford School Atlas. It is very helpful book. Okay, you can have a copy, you can download it PDF also, it is available. And I will suggest that you should take a you should buy a hard copy. All the important maps are there. Okay, not only India but entire world. Okay, entire world map is here in a different purpose. You can see it is very interesting. Okay, so that's all about this chapter. I hope uh, you enjoyed the session. So that's all about map. In the next class, I will make you understand about the essential of map making. What are the essential elements that we want to use, we will use in map making? For example, what is the use of scale, what is the use of symbols, how we can use it? These techniques are there, we will learn in the next class. Thank you everyone for your time. We will meet in the next lecture. Take care.